Well, in the previous video, we had looked at finding the sum of 6.72 and 8.493. Okay, and we got a total of 15.213 for our answer. And we had looked at how we carry, just carry the ones and stuff like that. Now we're going to look at the whole concept behind it, or looking at another way how to add these values to show you what is really happening. Okay, now if you have been watching all the lessons in this playlist on addition or mathematical operations, you would have come to know what we mean by face value. Face value of a digit is what you see when you look at the digit, for example, the 6. So if I want the face value of the 6, I would look at the digit. I see 6, and then I'm taking the place value of the same digit, 6. The place value, it's in the ones column. So if I multiply the face value by the place value, I will get the value of the digit. So here I'm saying 6 times the ones because it's in the ones column, and that would give me a 6. Okay, and then I'm adding to that. I have a 7 in my tenths column, and I'm saying 7 multiplied by 0.1, which is the place value of that column, and I would get a 0.7. Okay, and then to that I'm adding, I have a 2 in my hundredths column, so I'm just multiplying the 2 by the value, the place value, and I would get a 0.02. And to that I'm adding, well, that is it for that digit. Now for that number, because I have 6.72, so this would represent, this is the same as 6.72. Now below that, here I have a 8 in the ones column, so I'm just going to say 8 times 1, that would give me an 8, so I'm placing the 8 exactly under the 6 in my units column, plus I have a 4 in my tenths column, so 4 again times 0.1, and you could always try that on your calculator. You would get 0.4, plus I have a 9 in the hundredths column, so I'm multiplying it by the place value, so 9 times 0.01 will give me a 0.09. okay, and then I'm adding to that, just let me pull this over a bit so that we can get a little bit more space. Okay, so to that I'm adding the 3, and 3 is in my thousandths column, so I'm just going to simply say 3 times 0.001, and that would give me a 0.003. okay, and since I'm adding, just let me put my plus sign, and then I'm going to draw my line. Okay, and this empty spot here in the thousand column up top, if you're not comfortable with it being empty, you could just put a placeholder by saying this is 0.000. okay, now let's look at this in another way, how to add and see if we get the same value as we did initially over here. Okay, so we know that 0.003 being added to 0, because this is really 0, I would get the same thing here, 0.003. so what I have here is really 0.003, and I'm adding to that. And I mean, to show you the addition here, we could quickly draw up a number line, so let's just quickly get our number line here. Let me pull this up a bit. So let's pull this up a bit. Here is my number line. Okay, so let's just pull this over so that we can get a little bit more space to work with. Alright, so this number line, if you notice, this number line would represent my hundredths column. Okay, this hundredths column here that I'm about to add now. Okay, so here if you notice in my hundredths column, it's 2 places I have following my decimal point, 1, 2, and here on my number line, if you notice, I'm going up by 2 places decimal in each case. So I would have 0.01, then 0.02, then 0.03, 0.04, 0.05, 0.06, and so on. Okay, hope you see the trend that is happening here. Now on my number line, I need to add 0.02 and 0.09. so again, I'm going to just start at my origin. Okay, so starting from my origin at 0, you can choose any value to move first. When adding, it doesn't matter which value you add first, so I can move 9 places first, okay, or 0.9 places. So let's go, that's 0.1. okay, I need to move 9, so I need 8 more, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I've moved 0.9 places. So this movement that I've just moved represents my 0.09. And if you notice where I've stopped at 0.09 or 0.09. Now I need to move an additional 0.2 places. So from 0.09 I'm going to move 1, 2 places. Okay, and here I have moved 0.02 places. Okay, so I can say then 0.09 plus let me put the plus 0.02, I have stopped at my 0.11. Okay, so here let me just pull this up a bit so that we can get a little bit more space. Here now I would have stopped at this point, my 0.11. Now if you notice the 0.11, I would have a 1 next to the decimal point, so that would simply suggest that 0.11 is really the same as 0.1 plus 0.01. Okay, this here 0.1 plus 0.01 is the same as 0.11. And if you notice here in my base 10 system, I would have my 0.1, my 10 or my tens column. If you notice here, I would have my tens in my tenths column, which is the 0.7, 0.1. I would have to now carry this 0.1 because this is saying this is 1/10. Okay, so here now I have to carry that to the tenths column. So we have to take the respective value to the respective columns. So I have to carry this, and then the 0.01 now I would have to leave it in this column. So my 0.01 I would have to leave it there, and my tenths now I would have to carry to my tenths column. Okay, right there. Now what this is really saying now, so I have calculated that on my number line, and remember this number line that we have just manipulated, this represent my hundredths column. Okay, I have just looked at this number line represent my hundredths column. So let me just make a note there quickly. Let's just move on. Now I'm going down. If you notice, I am in my let me just show you the comparison. If you notice, I am in my tenths column now, the tenths column. So here I'm adding 0.4 plus 0.7 plus 0.1. So let's look at when we add those numbers, what do we get on our number line. So I hope you appreciate this kind of lesson where you're really seeing the concept based on what is happening, because math is fun, and when you really understand certain concepts, it's much easier to grasp. Okay, now check this out now guys, quickly. Now here I am saying 0.4. So if you notice on my number line now, I would be in my tenths column, and if you notice, I am going up by 0.1 in my tenths column. So this number line now, let me just make a note here that this number line represent my tenths column. This is my tenths column. Okay, so here now again, if I wanted to represent 0.4 or add 0.4, 0.7 and 0.1, I could start at my 0. Okay, and it doesn't matter which you add first, so I'm moving up 0.4 places. Let me add 0.4 first. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be 4. So this movement that I've just moved is 0.4. That represents 0.4. Now to 0.4, now I'm going to add 0.1. Okay, because 0.1 is in that same column. So I'm just showing it doesn't matter which one you add first or last. addition, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here I have moved 0.1 place. Okay, so 0.1 takes me to 0.5. So here, this movement that I've just moved is my 0.1. That's the movement up top here that I've carried. Okay, then now I need to move an additional 0.7. Okay, so I must move now. That's 1, this is 2, that's 3, this is 4, this would be 5, this would be 6, and then this would be 7. So I've moved 0.7 places. So the 0.7 places that I've moved will take me up to this spot. Okay, just let me just mark it quickly. Let's just mark it quickly. I would be now at my point, and let me just mark it there. I would be at my 1.2. Okay, but a key thing to note is that 1.2 simply means, if you notice, I have come over in my ones column here. If you notice, I've passed 1. Okay, so I'm in whole number territory. Okay, so this 1.2 means 1 plus 0.2. Okay, that's what this means. I'm adding 1 to 0.2. So basically here, since this is a whole number, then it simply means I would have to carry this 1 into my whole number column and leave the 0.2 in its respective position. So if I should pull down this chart a little bit, let's pull it down so you can see what is happening. This 0.2, I would have to leave it in my 0.2 column, okay, in my tenths column, because this is saying I have 2/10. So my 0.2 would go there, and then I would have to carry my ones in my units column. Okay, so now here I would have to place my 1 above my 6. Okay, so now in my units column, really what I have left is 8 plus 6 plus 1. Okay, and that should be pretty much easy to calculate. So let me just pull up another number line. Okay, so really what I have a 8 plus 6 plus a 1, and if you notice now, I would be in my ones column. Okay, so this number line would represent my ones column. So if I'm starting at 0, I have a 8, so I'm moving 8 places, and we can just double check them. We have 8 plus 6 plus 1. Those are the 3 digits that we are adding now. Okay, so really we have 8 plus 6 plus 1, so I am going to be moving 8 places. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 places, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7, and 8. Okay, so I've moved 8 places. Then I need to move another 1 place. Okay, so let's just change the color quickly. So I'm moving 1 place because it's 3 numbers I'm adding, 8 plus 6 plus 1. So after I've moved my 1 place, I need to move 6 more places now. Okay, so here I must move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here I've moved my 6 places. So really this is 6 places I've moved, and this is 1 place I've moved here. This would be 1 place, okay, and this would be a total of 8 places I've moved initially. Okay, so really what I have here, I have moved 8 plus 1 plus 6. And if you notice where I've stopped, and I could just pull this up a little bit. Okay, I have stopped at 15, and really 15 is 15. This is a position I've stopped. So 15 is really 1, 5, which is equal to 110 plus 5 units. Okay, so here obviously I would have to bring a 10 to the tens column and leave the 5 in the units column, okay, for my 15, which we have gotten there. So now I'm just taking this up top quickly. So here, since 15 is the same as 10 plus 110 plus 5 ones, I would have to put the 5 in the ones column, okay, and then I would have to carry the tens to the tens column. So since there are nothing else in the tens column, I would just have to bring down my tens. Okay, so essentially what we're saying here now is that 10 plus 5 plus 0.2 plus 0.01 plus 0.003 is the same as 15.213, and we can do that quickly.